Hey everybody, welcome once again to Low on Health Rambling Year-End Review. This particular one covering the movies that we watched in 2018. Once again, this isn't of course to say the movies that came out in 2018. Some of the movies came out in 2017. Some of the movies came out decades ago. But more or less a record of the movies that mostly I watched, but also you watched this year.
A few that I watched that you didn't.
Yeah.
Horror movies mainly, because that's not your bag.
No, most of my stuff is old animation stuff. Okay, so without further ado, here is our top 10, or this is my top 10
Yeah, slightly different.
for 2018, in which case I very much have like two anime movies at the top. In which case, the Sword Art Online movie was just phenomenal. It was everything I want out of an anime movie, to where it even had the big scene at the end where everybody comes together to help the main character do whatever, and my favorite thing
That's
overall.
like your favorite trope.
And then we also had No Game No Life movie, in which case, if you're familiar with the series, this is like kind of a prequel movie. It is fantastic.
Yes, it is. It's
Like,
really good.
It's very rare that we rate anime movies above regular movies that often, but like this year, they were just
Wasn't
great.
my top? Wasn't
We'll
my
get to
number
it.
one last year? Kimi no Nawa.
Oh yeah, I guess that's actually 2 years in a row we've done that.
Then
Yeah.
really good movies.
Yeah. And then, of course, you see Blade Runner, in which case that was from the previous year, but we finally got around to it. That was like one of the first things we watched in 2018.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And then Downsizing, which we just, for some reason, love the premise and just the story. It's really good.
The message was good too.
It's just a really solid movie, in which case you also see the Avenger movie, because, I mean, it sounds like cliche to say, but it was still a good movie. This is what we were all expecting. We wanted a big ensemble thing, and there you go. A surprising thing, the next two entries are late additions that we didn't think we were ever going to make it in our top 10. Like Venom, we had very, not low hopes for, but we just didn't have any, like...
You had no expectations.
Yes.
I had heard nothing but good things about Venom, especially in the circles that I follow online and on Twitter. All of the people that like the same stuff as I do were all about Venom, and I totally understand why after seeing it. It's really good. They tried to sort of bill it as like an action horror movie, but it's more an action comedy.
It's less
superhero
gritty
movie.
than you would initially think it
Yeah,
was.
it's not like grimdark at all. I love it.
So it's interesting to
Skip it.
think we liked it so much that it made it in the top 10 out of roughly like 70 movies. So like really, if you're like laying on it, not thinking about it, it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
The next one came out just a couple of days ago, Bandersnatch,
Oh my god.
which
so
is
good.
essentially Netflix's Choose Your Own Adventure thingy done with the folks that did Black Mirror. It's like a Black Mirror episode that's a Choose Your Own Adventure. It is super meta, super fourth wall breaking. It's very interesting. I'm extremely excited for how they did
do
this.
more stuff like that in the
Like,
future.
I can kind of see how they use the information from the viewer watching. But it's just interesting to think that using Netflix's like operating system of how like the apps work and everything, and then using that for Choose Your Own Adventure, which
the
is like
algorithms.
yeah, which and it was like seamless because I've played other like FMV Choose Your Own Adventure games. There's Late Shift, which is a FMV game that I played earlier this in
That's
2018.
an old one, isn't it?
No, that's the one I played this year. You're thinking of some other one.
Oh,
But-
I thought it was still an old game. Anyway.
Oh yeah, but no, it's really good, and like once again, we didn't even think it was going to exist. And a lot of reviewers, like critics, are like not really happy with it. For us, we enjoyed it. In which case, also we enjoyed Bright, and a lot of like critics didn't, and I know a lot of people still enjoyed Bright. So it's very interesting. Like it's just really good. Bandersnatch. I mean, once again, you see we have it ranked above other things. Like you have Black Panther.
It goes meta.
And Black Panther is another Marvel movie that we enjoyed.
It was very good.
And that's not to say those movies are bad. It's just if they're at the low list. Keep in mind, this is out of like 70 to 60, 50 for you. Mayhem is one that probably nobody has heard of. It's very much everybody's trapped in a building fighting each other type of movie. In which case, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
A
A
long
virus
list.
gets let loose that makes people completely and totally lose their violent inhibitions, and so they all end up fighting and killing each other and such. But they don't. What I found interesting is that they don't like lose their like higher functions and ability to reason.
Yeah, they
It's
don't
just,
go-
Like, their impulse control is gone.
They don't go crazy. It's essentially like the morality behind what stopped them from doing whatever they want is gone. Almost kind of akin to Crossed, which is a comic series.
They
It's-
lose their
it's-
intelligence.
Yeah,
though.
they lose their intelligence. Also, Horns, the movie that was it Daniel Radcliffe that
Yeah.
was in it? It also has that kind of vibe to it.
Really? I
Where
think
people
so.
are basically being completely honest with who they are and what they want to do.
I guess, but that's not. I wouldn't compare the two.
They're on
That aspect is
yeah.
the same, but I wouldn't compare those two movies. But
Well-
is a fantastic movie if you like violent movies.
And that out of our movies besides the anime, that's the one movie I would say a lot of people probably have not heard about.
Stephen Yeun is in it.
Yes.
Who's an actor I really like.
And then, of course, the new Jumanji, which I'm just calling Jumanji 2017 because I don't want to say Enter the
Hilarious.
Jungle because I just think that's a stupid tagline.
Yeah, it is.
But no, it was great. It's a good, solid comedy.
It's very good.
And then we're just going to scroll down real quick to see Rose's top 10, which kind of mirrors mine. We see No Game No Life for You was at the top. Sword Art isn't on for you, but that's because I'm more of a Sword Art fan.
No Game No Life had all of my favorite tropes in it, basically, is what it boiled down to. And visually, it was great. The voice acting was great. Like, it was beautiful, and
Oh, it's a gorgeous movie.
yeah, it was beautiful, and it had, like, all my favorite tropes. So, I'm not too difficult to please.
And then realistically, the only thing that's on, like, she doesn't have Sword Art on her list, but instead in her tops, you have Annihilation,
Oh, Annihilation was such
which
a
you
good
watched
movie.
multiple times and you
Yeah,
enjoyed.
it's a sci-fi movie. It's really creepy and interesting and just, yeah.
So
yeah,
wh-
it's really good.
So once again, those are kind of our
Beautiful.
top 10s. So if you ask us, like, what movies are worth watching, we would point you definitely to these two. And I know everybody has Netflix, so just do Bandersnatch. The problem with Bandersnatch is make sure you give yourself, like, 2 hours. I know it says the runtime's like a $1.30, but, like, just give yourself as much time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to rant out about Bandersnatch because, like, a couple of times when we were watching it, we lost interest. Because, like, okay, we're kind of done
Started
now.
to,
We've done
yeah.
all these things. And then it just happened to be able to hook us back in and make us want to watch more. 30 minutes later, we're like, okay, we've exhausted everything. And no, we didn't. It threw something new in. Like, it did that multiple times, and that really just impressed us,
Yeah.
like, immensely.
We're like, okay, what else can... Oh! Oh, that!
Okay.
All right, then.
So
yeah,
I just wanted to, once
that
again,
happened a lot.
probably really highlight Bandersnatch as much as I don't want to keep pushing it.
Yeah, especially if you like things that can be self-referential or fourth wall breaking or meta, and if you like video games a lot.
Yeah. That's another reason why I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Now, what I'm going to do now, this is basically the long list of everything that we watched in 2018, or more or less I watched in 2018. And this is almost chronologically from when I started watching them. So, as you can see, Blade Runner was one of the first movies we watched in 2018. And I'm just going to slowly scroll down. This year, I probably watched the most old movies. Like, you have The Music Man's in there. A bunch of other stuff is in here. Coco was good.
Coco is cute.
We also saw a large amount of anime live-action adaptations, like Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, I've yet to watch the Bleach
We've
one.
yet to watch the Bleach one. That'll be in 2019. We also watched Parasite, which was a live-action one, which
Parasite
was
was
really good.
amazing.
Um,
Parasite was really, really faithful to the anime. I was very impressed.
what else we got here? Deadpool 2 was good, but like, we didn't really enjoy it as much as the first one.
Yeah.
I watched Atlantis because you're a big fan of Atlantis, and I hadn't watched it forever ago. The classic. Is it
Oh,
Disney or is it?
it's
Is it Journey to Atlantis?
I think it's Journey to Atlantis. It's Disney. It's an old animated movie. It's really quirky. It's like a cult classic that he'd never seen. It's just really good.
Pacific Rim Rising was also in our top 10
Uprising.
a couple of times, and it just got bumped out
Yeah,
because
just other stuff was just like better.
Better.
We were like we always try and like consider if something is a sequel or a new property or a standalone thing.
highlighted.
Yeah.
Ready Player One was fun for the fact like we basically got like really cool like seeing it in high def was awesome, and then also just slowing it down beat by frame was kind of a cool fun thing to
It
do.
visually was really good.
Too cliche ish.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this storyline was just kind of like,
Yeah.
whatever.
And
Visually, it was fantastic though.
as you see, there's a couple other classic old movies. Hudson Hawk, a bunch of
He watched some old weird stuff.
Tag was cool. It was a neat premise.
Yeah, Tag was cute.
Let's see, what we got here another anime movie. Actually, we probably watched a lot of anime movies. Like there's the Boku no Hero movie.
We did watch a decent amount.
An interesting thing this year to highlight it, we watched 4 movies in the movie theaters proper. It was Black Panther, Infinity War, the Boku no Hero movie, which was awesome that came to the theaters.
We didn't get a chance to watch Spider-Man.
That's one thing that's on our next year list is the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse one. And then Wreck-It Ralph, the second one we saw in theaters, in which
It
case
was good, but
it was
wasn't
okay.
great.
I mean, honestly, I would, yeah, it wasn't that great. A surprise that was kind of cool. Teen Titans Go actually had you laughing. Like you actually seemed to enjoy it,
Yeah, because it was like parodying.
It wasn't what we
The genre.
once again. It wasn't what we were expecting.
Yeah, those were always kind of those are actually the best movies.
As you hear, is a couple other classic animated movies from
That
back in the
movie
day.
was so weird.
Which one? Wizards?
Yeah, it was so bad. I kept laughing at it. It's like one of those things where it's like so bad it's kind of good.
For me, it was more interesting. I kind of went down a rabbit hole of looking into like what was what was the
movies
opposite.
that were like adult.
Well, what was the opposite of Disney? Like Disney wasn't the only animation house back in the day.
They weren't the only yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Just as you can see, just a bunch of movies. Bandersnatch, we just watched, like I said, last. Mary and the Witch's Flower, we're like, ooh, cool, kind of like a Ghibli movie, but it's like a Ghibli movie built by an algorithm that isn't good.
Yeah, it was
all.
like the art was Ghibli, but the story wasn't.
It's horrible.
For sure.
And then here's a list of the movies that Rose watched, so I didn't watch. A lot of them kind of horror-ish.
Yeah, Life was just, your standard creepy thing in space. It was cool. It is a very good horror movie. Definitely benefits from watching it in the dark in high def. Shape of Water was good.
Everybody's heard of Shape of Water.
Day of the Dead Bloodline, I don't even remember, so that tells you something. I watched Schindler's List because I hadn't watched it in forever. And just very, uprising. Why is that on my list? Oh, because you watched it after I did.
Yeah, there's some movies that you actually is that one you saw in theaters?
Yeah.
You actually saw more in theaters, yeah.
I saw it with Annie.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then Annihilation is on my list. It's
And-
so good.
And Quiet Place.
And then A Quiet Place, which I never got around to writing a review for, but that's just because I forgot. A Quiet Place is very good. I've seen people recommending a movie similar to it called The Bird Box, so I'm probably going to watch that super soon.
But yeah, that's really pretty much it for 2018. We watched so many movies, which is high for us. I want to say a lot of people have asked me, or I've discussed with other people how I'm able to watch so much. A lot of this stuff is second screen experiences. I would even say some of your stuff is second screen experiences.
Yeah, some stuff I'll half watch while I'm drawing.
Like while you're drawing, you can usually watch something because we have so many screens up in our place. And even for me, like if I'm playing a video game and there's like a grindy point, even like I'm racing a bunch or farming achievements or experience, it's a lot easier to do that if you're watching something. So you're not just playing a game for no reason for 2 or 3 hours. You actually can be watching a movie to the side as long as it's not like a high concept movie. You can do that. So I want to really recommend like people doing that, or just like
try to.
A lot of these movies don't require you to have like 100% of your attention. And for me, it's always best just to kind of experience the narrative. I will say it's been fun watching some of these movies in like 4K HDR high def now that we have like the setup for it. Like Venom was really cool to see that.
Yeah, like some of the visual effects. Like if you're watching a movie where like you feel like the visual effects or the spectacle matter, that really helps things.
Like
pop.
all the comedies.
Like Annihilation.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful in HDR.
Yeah. But yeah, as always, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Oh yeah, I guess next year I'm trying to think of what movies we are interested in looking, but it's
I just said one, The Bird Box.
Well, I'm saying movies coming out in 2019.
Oh, movies coming out.
I can't at this point. I mean,
off the top
Marvel.
of my
We
head.
have the Infinity War.
We're gonna have Infinity War #2, but I don't really remember any.
The Battle Angel should hopefully happen.
Alita.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that one. I'm looking forward to that one. There was one preview we saw.
Yeah.
In the movie theater. I can't remember what it was, though.
Yeah, classic. So, anywho, as always, thank everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.